All right, everybody. So today what we're going to do is start making some of the parts for our swing set. We're going to be using Autodesk Fusion, which is in a lot of ways similar to Autodesk Inventor. It does have its differences. You'll definitely see them, but it's fairly close. So the first thing we want to do is we want to go and make a project to keep all of our files in for our swing set. So if you're looking at the left column here, if you don't see the left column, for example, if I close it, you may have to come up here and click Show Data Panel, which is this 9 little square button. And if you're inside of a different project, for example, if I was inside this, I have to go back to my home, and now I'll see a button that says New Project. I'm going to go ahead and click that, and I'm going to go ahead and just name this Swing Set. All right, so you see that I have a swing set right here, and I'm going to double click on it to open it so that I'm now inside the folder. So when I save my files, they're going to go in this folder called swing set so that I can find them. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to start over here drawing some of the parts of my swing set. We want to draw our boards and our lumber to the actual size. Now to do this, in general, we're going to subtract 1/2 inch from all the dimensions. For example, a 2x4, we're going to subtract 1/2 inch from both those numbers, and it's going to be 1.5 inches by 3.5 inches. Or a 4x4 will be 3.5 by 3.5 inches. Or a 4x6 will be 3.5 inches by 5.5 inches. All right, so we're going to go basically with that system. Now, if I use the same part multiple times, I don't need to draw it multiple times. I just need to draw it once, and I can put it into my final drawing more than one time. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to start out, and if you imagine a swing set, if you can visualize the one I showed you yesterday, I had kind of a little clubhouse part that had 4 poles in the corners, and then there was a little floor and a ladder that went up to it. So I'm going to go ahead and make one of those vertical poles. So I'm going to come up here. There's a button that says Create Sketch. I'm going to put it this way, just because the pole is vertical. Now, if I make it another way, later I can rotate it. It's not a big deal. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw a rectangle here. So I'm going to click and drag. Now I want this rectangle to be the right size for my board. I believe earlier I said in one of the other videos that was going to be a 4x4. So I'm going to make it 3.5, and I'm going to hit Tab to go to the other one and hit 3.5. And this will be my board. Now I'm done with the sketch, so I'll come Finish Sketch. And I want to extrude this up to the proper height. So I'll hit Extrude. Now remember, boards can come in 8, 10, and 12 foot lengths. I'm going to go ahead and make this 10 feet. Now, if you don't want it to be 10 feet, if you only want it to be 9 feet, you could buy a 10-foot board and cut it, of course. Notice it's in inches, so 10 feet in inches is 120 inches. I can zoom out and I'll see the board here. And I'll go ahead and click OK. And we'll see the post. So now that I've got one of my pieces, I'm going to come up to File. I'm going to save this, and it wants me to give it a name. So I'm going to just call it Clubhouse Post. Save. All right. Now, if I want to make another part, I'm going to come up to File, and I'm just going to say New Design. Now, let's imagine I want to make some of the boards that connect those posts together. I'll say that my clubhouse is 6 feet wide and 4 feet long. And the reason I picked those is if I was making this in real life, I could take a 10-foot board and cut it at 6 feet and get 2 pieces out of that one board. It'd just be a little bit more economical. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw it, and my post goes sideways mostly. So I'm going to go ahead, come in here, and I think those were 2x6s. So I'll call this 5.5. And I'll call this 1.5. All right. And like I said, we'll have 2 of these. One's 6 feet and one is 4 feet. So finish the sketch. I'll go ahead and make my 6-foot board first. So my distance here is going to be 72 inches. Okay. And there's my board. And so now I'll just go File, Save. And we're going to call this, let's say, Clubhouse 6-foot side. Okay. So that's the same process I'm going to use to make basically all of the parts of my clubhouse. Over the course of today and tomorrow, we're going to try to make basically all of the parts that we can. We should know what type of boards we're using from previous day's work. We should know how long they are and some of the basic dimensions, and we'll work off of that, go ahead and make them. So that's what we're going to be doing for the next 2 days.